All right, welcome back to the channel, guys. Let's go ahead and do a quick review today. Today we're going to be taking a look at Rosa, a product from Arcadian. This is going to be their firm hold, high volume styling clay. I'm super stoked to kind of show you guys what this can do, just because I'm a huge fan of clay products and it's just historically worked super well for my type of hair. But let's just jump right into it, give you guys a lowdown. I'm going to be taking a look at the design of the jar, application process, my initial thoughts on it, and then we'll get throughout the day and see how it kind of lasts. So let's go ahead and do the design of the jar. When we take a look at the jar, we see that it comes in the standard 4-ounce plastic container. It's not going to be the generic amber glass or amber colored container, whether plastic or glass. But we see that it comes in a matte black with an aluminum lid, so super clean in that sense. And the label itself is a blacked out label with essentially a color scheme following the pink rose color, which is super cool, super minimal in the sense that not too distracting, very like nice use of the actual coloring itself. In terms of what is presented on the label, we see that it's the description of the product, how to apply it, the actual product name itself, and finally the ingredients. Nothing too fancy, nothing too complicated, fairly standard of a pomade product, or most products at this point. But when we take a look at the inside of the container, we see that the clay itself is fairly wet. It's not like a cream, but it is like a very, very thick, like paste almost. It's like super wet clay product. So with that in mind, and with that being said, with wet products, it's going to be super easy to apply to the hair. So let's go ahead and do our first scoop and see what we get. So right now my hair is about medium length. I'm due for a haircut in about a week or two, but let's see what this can do at this point. So application process is super smooth. Kind of feels like you're rubbing lotion in your hair, given that it's a clay product. With clay products, you kind of assume that there is a little bit of like grittiness, a little bit of like grippiness, that when you do apply the product itself, it's gonna like pull and tug on your hair as you kind of try and spread it through. But we don't get that, I assume, mainly because of how much water is in this clay. So right off the bat, we see that we get a fairly matte finish. The hold itself is fairly strong, not a ton of weight to the actual product itself, so that would be a little bit concerning if your hair was a little bit longer. I think right now maybe my hair is maybe 4.5 inches long, but things are resting fairly nice. We get the scent itself is essentially a rose like scent, which makes it makes sense because there's a ton of like rose hip oil, rose hip extract, and I believe, what else is the last? Rose flower water. There's not like extra scent added. The scent itself comes from all these ingredients, from like essentially if you guys ever tried the Monin syrups that they use for like lattes and like desserts and stuff, the rose flavored one is essentially what this smells like. And for me, I've been downing that bottle of syrup and it's freaking good. So this reminds me of that. It's a very like light, sweet aroma, soft to the nose, nothing too like perfumey or overpowering. Think of it as like the scent you would get from like a face wash. It's like very light, very just present in the beginning, but then it kind of fades as the day goes on. So that's about it for the scent. Let's do the 360 tour. I think I'm good with one scoop today. So we get pretty good control, high hold, high volume for sure. In terms of the weight of the product, that is a little bit of like a point of concern for me, just because my hair kind of falls out of place throughout the day, but we'll see how that kind of plays out. I'll see you guys in maybe like 6 to 7 hours. So stay tuned for that and catch you guys in a bit. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. So we're approaching hour 7 or 8 at this point. I've just been inside the house editing photos throughout the whole day. So not a lot of movement in terms of like going in and out of the house, changing temperatures, or like a lot of physical exertion. We do get a pretty normal, chill like day of working. So this is what we kind of ended up with. Things have loosened up pretty nicely. Not a ton of like loss in terms of hold. We still are left with like a medium to firm hold. Matte finish is still there. Not that it's going to change for some odd reason. We do get a good amount of strays. So this is definitely more on the side of a clay product that is more for a looser kind of textured look with like high volume. You don't get a good amount of like slickness, so it's not gonna be super neat. But again, with clays, that's never the case, or usually never the case if you're trying to like get slickness. Hopefully that makes sense. It made sense in my head. But let's go ahead and restyle and see what we get. Things in terms of volume, you do see that things are still kind of there. Things have fallen out of place here and there, but nothing that we shouldn't be able to fix from what I remember. So finger combing it, things are still restylable. It's still like malleable and just responds super well. We see that we can clean up relatively nicely. Good amount of texture. Still a little bit of strays here and there, but I'd pay the price for that and have my hair still feel super light. I think that's one of the biggest pros of this product, is that the volume and hold ratio to the actual weight of the product and how it feels in your hair, it's just absurdly like good right now. So I think that's it. The scent right now is essentially gone. You still get a little bit of like that rose hip oil extract in there, but rinsability, one shampoo and you're pretty much good to go. With a lot of clays, a water rinse usually doesn't just get rid of everything. I'd say like 80 or 90% of it, but one solid shampoo should get all of this out of your hair. And with buildup, there's not a ton, but typically day 2 and 3, you guys will probably see like a lot more hold and control just by the sheer weight of the product being in your hair more. There you guys have it. That's going to be Arcadian Rosa. Definitely check them out if you haven't already. I know that they're going to do a collab with Modern Man TV, so maybe I should just hit them up and be like, yo, maybe I should do a collab too. So stay tuned for that. Catch you guys next time and take care. Peace.